refused to receive their bill. More as the NDC MP describes the Attorney General's behavior as that of a party foot soldier.
The quagmire, the constitutional quagmire in which we find ourselves. We have allowed the president to get away with a lot of constitutional breaches. You are aware that the Supreme Court recently pronounced that he's dismissal or driving away from office. The former Auditor General, Mr. Dumsor.
Also this afternoon, our intervention saved the nation blackout of internet service. NCA touts its proactive directive to mobile network operators.
This is the appropriate time to let Ghanaians know that NCA has been forward-looking. I dare you go to any regulator in the sub-region to find out if they actually took any such decisions.
Also, staff of the Ghana Revenue Authority refutes claims of harassing businesses.
I mean, they themselves sometimes, frankly, don't understand the tax.
More as they describe Vice President Dr. Bawumia's comments as unfortunate. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. We're also live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X Spaces via Joy News on TV. My personal handle is @Denana Aisha. Please do stay for details. Many thanks for choosing us. Director General of the National Communications Authority, Joe Anoche, says his entity's forward-looking intervention saved the nation from being plunged into a total internet blackout. Taking his turn at the press briefing at the Ministry of Information, Joe Anoche narrated how a similar incident in 2019 came as a wake-up call to give a key directive to the mobile network operators that averted the total shutdown.
Based on the past 10 years then any forward-looking institution who understand the issue, want to be proactive, can look at the issues and make decisions. And so that's what we came up with in February of 2020. We sent a communication to the MNOs, and I'll share that letter with you so that we are clear. In that letter, we stated that based on the series of issues that had occurred in 2019, and you saw that in 2019 in particular, there were several breaks. Based on that, we need to understand their cable to MNO mapping to avert future internet disruption. And again, I'm not choosing this word. These are the exact words in the letters that we sent to the MNOs in February 2020. So then they came to make a presentation to us, and then we realized that most of them were either with one cable provider or two cable providers. There was nothing wrong with that. It was a business decision. Remember that this cable was provisioned by a consortium of investors. So if you are a member of the consortium and you have traffic, you actually only pay the cost. So for business purposes, it makes sense that you put all your traffic on the cable that you are paying less. But then we realized that that was a risk. It was a risk. So we wrote to them again in April 2020. We wrote to the MNOs to ensure that they connect to a minimum of 3 cables. These are decisions that were made in April 2020. I'm not saying these are decisions that were made after March 14th. Honourable Minister Designate, it is my belief that the reason why Ghana did not experience a total internet cutoff was this single directive from the National Communications Authority to the MNOs from February 2020 and April 2020. I sincerely believe that. That was the case. If we are not writing to them, if we are not actually giving them the directive, it will have been a challenge on last Thursday. And we wrote to every one of them. I'm only reading one letter. MTN, a meeting appearance for appreciation on the following.
Joy said it's imperative for businesses to connect to Ghana Internet Exchange Service as well as the Accra Internet Service to serve as a local backbone to curtail the devastating effects that come with such occurrences.
In having this discussion, we realized that one of the reasons why ECG, Ghana Water, and so on connectivity was not working because several of these applications were being hosted outside the country. So it became a challenge for them to now contend with the limited traffic that was going to the internet and coming back. We recommended to the MNOs to prioritize these traffic, which they said they were going to look into it. The phone they called to indicate that was possible. Indeed, we could prioritize the financial services and the public utility services traffic so that we can have business continuity. And then we recommended to them as much as possible to host some of these applications locally. There's a national data center that is managed by NITA. It's a world-class data center. There are several other data centers around. I think we should look into bringing home some of these applications so that in event of situations like this, they will be local. The other recommendation we made is, most people don't know about the Ghana Internet Exchange and Accra Internet Exchange. These are entities that allow, as I explained earlier, entities that allow MNOs and ISP. Ghanaian traffic remains local. The way internet works is internet is based on addresses, just like you and I have a home address. There are devices that are called routers. They keep destination addresses. Anywhere you want to go on the world, in the world, it has to have a destination. So your service provider have to look in this routing table and see where is the destination. Because in the past, the whole internet lives outside in Europe. Most instances, even though I'm trying to go to a destination in Ghana, my service provider will send me to Europe, and then bring me back because
Organized Labour of the Ghana Revenue Authority has expressed displeasure at the comments of the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, who is also flag bearer of the NPP. The Vice President, in an interaction with the Chamber of Commerce and Industry under his Providing Bold Solutions tour, expressed reservations about how the Ghana Revenue Authority has been harassing businesses, but the Labour Union of the GRA has released a statement refuting the comments of the Vice President. We'll be bringing you the details of that statement shortly, but first, listen to the Vice President when he made that comment.
That harassment is coming from the sort of targets they are setting their offices. They are setting them unrealistic targets. So you say, and this is because the tax base is so narrow. So you say to them, this is your target for this month. They are trying to figure out, where do I go? Then, for them, it's very easy. You go back to where you got it the last time. Isn't it? You go to the taxpayers, the people who are already paying tax. And then you have to come up with a new reason why they should pay more. So you come up with all sorts of stuff. I mean, they themselves sometimes, frankly, don't understand the tax code. There are a lot of good, hard-working people there. They are my friends. But I'm saying that the targets that they are set, these hard-working officers, sometimes are very unrealistic. And that leads to harassment of business. because you have to get something out of them. And why you say prepay when you haven't earned 1 cent, 1 cedi, and you have to prepay. And so I've been looking at this very, very seriously. We are going to change the system. We are going to change the system.
We can now get details of that statement issued by the GRA's organized labor, and it reads, "We would like to state unequivocally that we, the workers of GRA, find the statement unfortunate and consider it as an attack on the efforts of the hard-working staff of the authority, which, if not discontinued, would incur the displeasure of workers, disrupt revenue collection efforts, and breed industrial disharmony." And the statement continues to say, "We wish to place on record that the unprecedented growth in tax revenue collection in 2023, which yielded in excess of 113 billion cedis, is a major factor that has kept Ghana in the IMF bailout program. It is also an undeniable fact that the GRA has since the 2020 fiscal year met and in some cases exceeded the annual revenue target despite the challenges of COVID-19. And it goes ahead to say it is strange that a vice president who also doubles as a head of the economic management team could suggest that the authority gives itself unrealistic targets, whilst he is well aware that annual targets are assigned to the authority by the government through the Ministry of Finance. Indeed, the least we expect from the vice president, if he would not appreciate the efforts of the authority in raising tax revenue, is not to put the lives of our hardworking staff at risk with such unfortunate comments. Additionally, we wish to stress that the GRA administered tax in accordance with laws enacted by the Parliament of Ghana and not based on the whims and caprices of the workers. We also call on the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency President Akufo-Addo, the board, GRA board, civil society organizations, and all well-meaning Ghanaians to admonish political functionaries to desist from making such pronouncements and intervene swiftly, as this statement poses a major risk to revenue mobilization efforts going forward. Let's now get to the energy sector, because the Energy Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, has reassured the public of putting in place measures to fix the recent power supply disruption across the country. Various areas have been experiencing interruptions in electricity supply in the past weeks, prompting citizens to express their dissatisfaction with the ECG. This has triggered calls for a load shedding timetable, but the Energy Minister rules out such calls. He says the demand for a load shedding timetable is equivalent to wishing evil for the country. Take a listen.
The current power cuts. Some people are saying that you made mention of this, you use this as a campaign against John Mahama, and now we are experiencing a worse situation under President Akufo-Addo. Would it reflect in the 2024 election? Would it be something that people will stand on to vote?
If you are comparing 4 years, MPP administration, energy sector is 300 times better than John Mahama.
But we are still experiencing Dumsor.
Nobody has said we haven't. I'm just saying it's far much better than John Mahama ever did.
You do admit that there's Dumsor.
That is the word you used. I have never used that word. I've promised you that we are going to work on it, and it's not a work that is a single event, it's a process, and we'll continue to work on it for the energy sector to become better.
Have you heard of calls for a timetable?
Ask those who want it to bring it.
They should bring the timetable.
If there is, I haven't seen any timetable. So when
people are calling for it.
Say bring a timetable. What do you mean? The ECG says that there is no timetable coming. Why do you want to bring a timetable? What purpose? Why would somebody get up and wish evil or bad for the country? When it is not planned, you can't tell the person. Were you in Ghana under John Mahama? Did you live in this country under John Mahama? Did you live in this country under John Mahama? Did you? I'm asking you a question. Did you live in?
It was equally worse.
It cannot be equally worse.
But look, MPP use it as a tool against them.
And I'm saying that even if you are talking about that, it was worse under John Mahama than ever now.
Some Ghanaians have been sharing their views on the energy minister's claim that there is no Dumsor.
It will help. It will help better than not knowing anything. You get up and come without electricity. At least you know Monday they will not be given light from 6 to 12 o'clock. I will not be out. I will be in my house knowing how to deal with my issues. After 12 o'clock, then I can come out and then do whatever I can do. Because without electricity is nothing. We cannot do anything. So if they will do the settlement of that time, it will help us. 9 to 10, 1 hour there is no light. At least it's better than knowing nothing. You just wake up in the morning, you come, there's no electricity.
Well, the timetable like it will help. But yeah, these people need light because anytime the light off they worry. So if they give us light, yeah, we go need it. But without the light, you see, we cannot do anything. Come to the work, nothing happen for a year. Go rob about no, then you go say no, you fuck up with your time. So if they give us small time, like some 2-3 hours for the day, like it will be for the boys.
We have to have a timetable for the lights off, so that we will know that maybe from 1, or maybe in the morning 6 to 6 in the evening, you are having light or not. That will be good for us.
How is it going to be good for you?
Because if you know the timetable, you know how to settle your time and you know how to do your things.
And how is the Dumsor generally affecting you?
It's affecting us because by the fuel is too costly. So using fuel on the generator is so highly costly. So it's affect our business.
Our Chief Executive Officer of the Independent Power Producers, Dr. Elikplim Kwabena Apetogo, has mounted a spirited defense to the stance taken that the Volta River Authority is failing to meet its domestic obligations, questioning the rationale for selling power at cheaper rates to neighboring countries such as Burkina Faso, Togo, and Benin at the time the nation is in power crisis. In a statement released earlier to rebut the comments made by Dr. Elikplim Apetogo, the Volta River Authority said it has always prioritized electricity supply to Ghana in accordance with its stipulated mandate. I'll share with you that statement shortly. It says the attention of the VRA has been drawn to a publication in the electronic media which attempts to suggest that the VRA is not meeting its power supply obligation to the Ghana market due to excessive export of power to neighboring countries. The assertion, which is attributed to the Independent Power Generators Ghana, is not only erroneous but misleading. The VRA wishes to state that since 1972, the authority has been supplying power to neighboring countries without reneging on its mandate to deliver reliable and affordable power to Ghana, and this the authority continues to do. Also, it is important to mention that the allocation of the power generated from the Akosombo and Kpong hydropower stations is supervised by the Electricity Market Oversight Panel and not the VRA. By this arrangement, the allocation always prioritizes the Ghana market in accordance with government policies to ensure long-term optimization of the nation's hydro resources. The VRA wishes to assure the general public and all other stakeholders that it will continue to prioritize electricity supply to the Ghana market in line with its mandate, government policies, and regulatory obligations. VRA wishes to assure the general public and all other stakeholders that it will continue to prioritize electricity supply to the Ghana market in line with its mandate, government policies and regulatory obligations. Family of a woman who was murdered and her corpse allegedly raped by assailants at Sene Bokanye in the Ashanti region is seeking justice for their relative. Two suspects, Kelvin Jemfi, 24, and Samuel Adai, 31, allegedly carried out the dastardly acts after invading the home of the deceased on a sailing expedition. The 36-year-old mother of one was asleep when the duo sneaked into her room in an uncompleted building and smashed her head twice with a cement block. After realizing she was dead, they took turns to rape her and bolted with her mobile phone and cash of 42 cedis.
This incident is said to have occurred on February 8, 2024, when neighbors of the deceased found her naked in a pool of blood in her room when her son had returned from school and raised the alarm. A careful examination on her body by the police revealed deep cuts on her left ear with a skull around her forehead crushed and blood oozing from the ear and nostrils. Semen was also found around her sex organ. The body of the deceased was deposited at the Konfanoche Teaching Hospital for autopsy and preservation. The autopsy reports indicated severe head injury, blunt force trauma, and unnatural sex. The suspects, 31-year-old unemployed Samuel Ade, and his accomplice Kelvin Jemfi, 24, who is a shoemaker, confirmed to the police they had gone to the abode of the deceased to smoke Indian hemp, after which they went to her room to steal from her. Police investigations traced the stolen phone and SIM card to the two, leading to the arrest. On March 17, 2024, Samuel Ade was arrested at Etrimabukanche, but his accomplice managed to escape and was later arrested from his hideout at Midday in the Greater Accra region 2 days after. The two appeared before the Ikropon District Magistrate Court, where they were charged provisionally with conspiracy to commit murder and murder. Family of the deceased is prevailing on the government for justice to be served. Brother of the deceased, Stephen Gatti, spoke to Joy News after the first court appearance.
We've
buried here. We are pleading with the court to give us justice.
Investigations are still ongoing. A DNA test is expected to be conducted on the accused with the swabs obtained from the deceased sex organs. They are to reappear before courts on April 4, 2024. From here in Kumasi, my name is Emmanuel Bright-Kweku.
This afternoon, government has been hit with two fresh suits over the controversial anti-LGBTQ bill as a standoff between the executive and parliament rages on. NDC MP for South Daye is asking the Supreme Court to make an order compelling President Akufo-Addo to receive the anti-LGBTQ bill and signify whether he will sign it into law or not. The MP, who is also a co-sponsor of the bill, wants the Apex Court to declare that President Akufo-Addo contravened the Constitution when he refused to receive the bill from the clerk to Parliament. Kwekwa Sante of our Legal Affairs desk joins me in the studio with more. First, Kwekwa, tell us about the one asking for an order to be made at the presidency compelling him to receive the bill.
Well, he's seeking 5 injunctory reliefs now. He says he wants a declaration that Parliament of Ghana duly complied with all the constitutional provisions stipulated in the Constitution. He wants an order of mandamus directed at the first respondent, that is the Speaker of Parliament, to, as a matter of urgency, comply with Article 1067 of the 1992 Constitution and serve the bill on the President. He also wants an order directed at the President of Ghana to receive the bill, that is the Human, Sexual and Family Values Bill, as presented to Parliament in accordance with Article 1067 of the Constitution, and an order directed at the President of the Republic of Ghana to signify to the first respondent, that is the Speaker of Parliament, within 7 days after the presentation of the bill, whether he wants to sign this into law or not.
Now, the second bill is asking the Supreme Court to actually declare that the President contravened the Constitution when he refused to accept the bill.
Yes, we know that just a little over a week ago, President Akufo-Addo refused to receive the bill. The clerk to Parliament had on 3 different occasions tried to serve the bill on the President. He later received a letter from the Executive Secretary to the President ordering him to cease and desist from any future attempts to to actually serve the president of Ghana with these documents. This new action that Roxanne Nelson Efemeko has filed in court is by way of a judicial review that is asking the Supreme Court to intervene in this matter and declare that the conduct of the presidency, the executive, in this matter were unlawful and that they are not under any law in terms of the basis for which they act under the right to refuse to receive a bill that has been duly authenticated by the clerk to Parliament.
Well, meanwhile, Roxanne Nelson Dafiamekwa has been speaking about why he had to file these actions. The NDC MP explains the Constitution must be protected against abuse and tyranny.
It's to strengthen the quagmire, the constitutional quagmire in which we find ourselves. We have allowed the president to get away with a lot of constitutional breaches. You are aware that the Supreme Court recently pronounced that he's dismissal or driving away from office. The former Auditor General, Mr. Dumsor, was unconstitutional. What happened to the president? Nothing. Nothing has happened to him. There is no consequence. So if we allow the president to conduct himself in a way that is not in consonance with the Constitution, we are condoning illegality. And under the Constitution, we are mandated not to permit that. So we must begin to straighten the president where he conducts himself that is in dissonance with the constitutional imperatives. And that is our duty.
As part of activities to herald 24 years of graduating the Holy Child School, the Millennium Year graduates have launched an endowment fund to assist with developmental projects in that school. The fund, among other things, will also provide financial support for the school. There's more in this report.
The 2000-year group of the Holy Child School have set an ambitious target of raising 3 million cedis for infrastructural development in the school. According to the group, the endowment fund idea was born out of their desire to help provide quality education for students as a way of giving back to the school. Nanekua is the president of the 2000-year group.
Just upon assessing the state of our school, we decided to come together and raise a fund that we expect to last generations, basically, so that the school will always have something to fall on to keep the infrastructure. And that is what's led to our theme, which is preserving our educational infrastructure as a legacy for future generations. It's not for nothing that in other countries, schools last hundreds and hundreds of years and churn out generations and generations of phenomenal people. Why can't we do that for our school? So we, the 2000-year group, came together and we are launching this Millennium Maintenance Fund. This fund is going to be handled in a way that every single year the school can fall on us, the alumni, and this fund. And this fund will keep the school standing. We cannot watch our schools go down the drain because they don't have the capacity to maintain the facilities. Those buildings need to stand, those facilities need to stand so that generations and generations of children, women, our children, our grandchildren can also have somewhere to go and get the kind of sterling education that we got from Holy Child School.
Speech Day Planning Committee Chair and member of HOPSA 2000, Akosua Foma Eje, urged parents and corporate organizations to invest in the aspirations of the younger generation.
Our aim is to set up an endowment fund for Holy Child School. Now we ask every Hobson out there to join us, even if we are 78 years old, So we are asking every Hobson out there to contribute. Nothing is too small. If we get 100 Ghana cedis from every Hobson over the past 78 years, I think we'll be able to raise a substantial amount for this endeavor. For the children in school, we know you're doing your best with the conditions that you have. We pledge to set up this fund to enable us to be able to maintain the school, stock up the library, and refurbish all facilities that you need so that your learning and your life on Holy Child Campus can be as smooth as ours was.
For Antoinette Edgar Hostin, an old student, accessing quality education is a key factor in human development.
I look back with a lot of nostalgia to everything that happened to Holy Child and how very well it has shaped me to be the person I am today. I mean, I look back to the friendships, the sisterhood, and most especially the discipline that was inculcated in us on Angels Hill. I mean, I know there are a lot of girls' schools who claim to be the best, but just be on the lookout for any Hobson you have seen, and you can see there's a difference. I think Holy Child is the only school that gives you complete and holistic education.
We're still live on Joy News Today. We'll take a break. When we return, that's business.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the business segment on Joy News Today with me, Pius Kojo Baka. President of Green Communities International, Professor de Graaf Owusu Menu, is emphasizing the need for academia and industry players to work collectively to tackle environmental and climate crisis. Now, he observed actors in the sectors have in the past worked in silos in achieving the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals. Professor Owusu Menu spoke during the launch of the first international conference on environment, governance, and sustainable development in Africa. More in this report.
Despite contributing less to the world's emissions, Africa continues to bear the brunt of the harsh weather conditions, impacting negatively on livelihoods and productivity. Farms across Ghana are recording lower yields, threatening food security, while many market women and people endure the sweltering weather. Including the 17 Sustainable Development Goals and other global agreements, little is being done by the country to achieve a sustainable society. Experts are imploring the government and the citizenry to be proactive for a progressive nation. Dr. Christian Seldo-Mensah is the Executive Director for the Center for Business Incubation.
If we don't act now, if we don't stop polluting the environment today, tomorrow we are all going to get choked. Animals are getting extinct in the Kenyan region. When it is fast approaching the sub-Saharan region. So we need to act, and act immediately. We need to act through research. That is why we have presented this platform, so that academicians, so that industry, whatever they are doing, either knowingly or unknowingly, will have that realization that, yes, we either promoting and keeping the environment, or we are destroying the environment. If we are keeping it well, then kudos, let's continue. But if we are not, then there's something we need to do.
He spoke ahead of a two-day international conference on environment, social entrepreneurship, governance, and sustainability in Ghana. The conference would gather both local and foreign industry players and academia to deliberate and recommend sustainable solutions to address environmental and climate challenges in Ghana and Africa. Conference chairperson Professor de Graaf Owusu Menu stressed the essence of collaboration for practical solutions to the menace.
Interest rates tumbled to 25.99%, the 12th consecutive week in 2024. That's according to Treasury bills auction results by the Bank of Ghana. More in this report.
Interest rates continue to fall in line with the disinflation process. The 91-day bill fell by 50 basis points to 25.99%. The yield on the 182-day bill also took a nosedive to 28.49% from the previous week's 28.99%. Similarly, the 364-day bill went down by 50 basis points to 29.09%. Meanwhile, the T-bills auctioned was oversubscribed by 41.15% to the tune of 4.77 billion cedis. The government, however, accepted 4.75 billion cedis. The 91-day bill was the most patronized, with about 2.50 billion cedis tendered. The uptake was about 2.48 billion. The 182-day bill received bids worth 1.34 billion cedis. All were accepted.
And that's it for business for now. I am Pius Kojo.
Time now to bring you sports on Joy News Today with me, Muftaru Nabila Abdullah. For the first time in 51 years, Ghana won a gold medal in a 200 meters in a African Games competition. It was Joseph Paul Amor who went to the finish line at a time of 20.70 seconds to claim gold in the competition. He says there wouldn't have been a perfect time to win a gold medal for the country more than before his own crowd.
My whole life, I wanted to win a medal in front of home fans. So this is big for me, big time. I love this.
What was the feeling like when everyone was actually stand up for the national anthem? For you?
It's my first time, and no, it's incredible, bro. It's incredible. Hearing the national anthem being played because of me, that's big time. Can't ask for anything better than this.
Let me just take you back briefly to the Commonwealth Games, where you were the first Ghanaian athlete to do so in 48 years. Did you always believe that this was coming someday?
I knew it was going to happen. The expectation was so big, so I knew I had to deliver in front of the whole fans. Being the bronze medalist from Commonwealth Games, there's obviously people are expecting me to like win a medal over here. Yeah. So getting the gold is like big time for me.
And the crowd?
Amazing, incredible. Couldn't believe it when I came out. So everybody, cheering. Saw my family, my close friends. Just incredible.
What would you say about your support system?
Big time, big time. My family is very supportive. I know my uncle is here, my dad is here, my mom, my cousins, uncles, a lot of uncles, and my best friend is here, other friends from.
Another man who won a gold medal on the final day of the event was Cadman Evans Yamua. He won it before a crowd of about 11,000 people. He said the glory that he's achieved for Mother Ghana would have been better if he won it on a different land.
I mean, it's always a joy representing your country. And if I had won this gold medal in a different country, the way people would be proud of me would have been different. But then having won on my home soil, I've done so many things on this same soil. So having redo it is a great honor again. So yeah, I feel so proud.
And you had your parents watching?
Yes, I had my parents, I had my friends, teammates, everyone. I put people from everywhere in Ghana. People flew in to come watch me. So yeah.
How was it feeling like when everyone was asked to stand up because the national anthem was going to be sung for you?
So, if I may recall, I haven't heard the Ghanaian national anthem being played for a high jumper, other than Rosie Yeboah, like a female high jumper. But
that's your sports for now. We do have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com. We appreciate your time.
Now, Jerry Ashinyo fears for Akwaboah's relationship. Now, the comedian says Akwaboah's relationship is shaking right now because if Cheddar dredges the sea to Kumasi as promised, then that will be all. He made a statement on a more serious note on Joy Prime.
But when was at Kaswa? I think
Jerry, what do you think
aware?
about dredging the sea to Kumasi and extending to Kumasi?
Honestly speaking, no jokes. When I heard that Cheddar wanted to take the sea to Kumasi, the first person I thought of was, hey, Akwaboah.
Why? What?
Exactly. Akwaboah sang a song, right? Me be reasi se me be don kwa ekosi se pu be da santimemu.
The relationship be good. So the love will end.
It be good. He thought it wouldn't be possible.
The 12 wannabe kiddie chef battled it out in the kitchen to impress the judges with the Indomie recipes. Each contestant came with an A game as they whipped up meals to warm their way into the hearts of the judges. Joy Prime's Lois Adeyemi has more in this report.
Yeah. Hey.
After disappointing the judges with the salad dishes last week, the 12 contestants entered the kitchen, geared up to wow the judges this time in the Indomie challenge. Chef Kofi tasked the contestants to prepare any recipe of their choice with Indomie in 30 minutes.
Today, our task is Indomie challenge. So now you have your basket with you. You have just 5 minutes to go around with your menu, the name of your menu, and then pick up your ingredients. But the cooking time, because it's Indomie is fast to cook, okay? You have 30 minutes to get the job done.
This time, Team Joy was the first to enter the kitchen, followed by Team Prime. The heat in the kitchen turned all the way up as each contestant hurriedly got to work. The time allotted them came to an end, and each contestant was called to present their meals to the judges. Guest judge KMJ, after tasting the food, applauded.
That's a wrap for the showbiz segments with me, Jacqueline, and Sumaya. Aisha.
Thanks so much, Jacqueline, for bringing us showbiz. Were you able to get the opportunity to taste?
I think I should be doing that next week. Episode 4.
That's our wrap up the bulletin. My name is Aisha. Log on to myjoyonline.com. There's more of the news and updates of all the developing stories. See you again at 2 p.m. Bye.